Bulletcast for life.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt when your face is...
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the Microphone Messiah, joined by Marlee and Brandon. Today is episode 400 consecutive weeks of being, well, that pod, this pod, the podcast you listen to, everything in between. Marlee, what's going on? Welcome to episode 400. Big milestone. I think your first milestone podcast with us.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a
Welcome.
beautiful thing to see.
Come on now. Hello. Brandon, you've been here.
Been here for 400 episodes, about 396 of them count.
They all count. Stop saying that. They all count. Because I've been here consistently, so they all count.
Okay, I'll allow it. I guess they all count.
You allow it. This is my show. Hold the hell on. God damn it. Get me all riled up on the 400th. Got a lot to do. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of little guest appearances are going to be happening in this show, so let's get in with it. Unfortunately, baseball legend Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83, passed away in his home in Las Vegas, Nevada. Brandon, you're the sports guy. Tell us about Pete Rose.
I mean, Pete Rose, legendary, hit king, most hits of all time. I don't know if Mr. X has anything to say on the matter, but he was a controversial figure, got banned from baseball for gambling on the game. And obviously, he might not be a baseball Hall of Famer, but goddamn it, he's a WWE Hall of Famer because his legendary run-ins at WrestleMania. Him and Kane had the ongoing bit in 14-15, and he was just an eccentric guy, on the field, off the field, and it's sad, but it seemed like he passed away peacefully of natural causes, and it's definitely more of a baseball world loss. But he does have some ties to the wrestling world, and he understood what he was, which it was entertaining about him. He didn't take himself too seriously. Now we have these ages of celebrities get into the ring, and back in those days in the 90s and 80s, sometimes celebrities just kind of showed up to get their name out there and kind of look down upon them on wrestling. But Pete Rose, he kind of knew what was up.
You'd love to hear it. Marlee, any thoughts on the legendary Pete Rose?
I have a memory of him when Raw would do the special guest, like general managers for a night.
Yeah.
I think he was the general manager for a night, so that's really the only memory I have of Pete Rose, but it's still very sad in the world of baseball, in the world of wrestling. Just sucks to see him go.
Yes. Also, Chris Christopherson, the legendary singer and actor, died at the age of 88. He has ties to wrestling because War Pig Jody Christopherson, his son, they used to wrestle for APW back in the garage and whenever running shows Pacifica. So Brandon, a lot of those shows that we were going to, probably maybe Mr. Christopherson was at a couple of them. R.I.P. to the legendary singer songwriter actor, and hope all the families are dealing with this in a manner which doesn't hurt as much, if that makes sense. Grief is obviously very hard, but hopefully they're working through it. The Vince McMahon documentary happened. It dropped. Let's talk about it. Marlee, what do you thought? You watched a little bit of it with us over at the dojo.
I did. I watched episode 1 and 2, and it was interesting. It was just, I'm not shocked because it's stuff that we've heard before, definitely, but also to kind of see it on a Netflix level is kind of insane because I'm kind of seeing it as the appetizer before we get Raw on SmackDown, or Raw on Netflix, I mean. But it's just, I feel like it's just stuff we've heard before, is a different way to perceive Vince McMahon. But ultimately, the production, I think that was my favorite part of it.
Brandon, thoughts on the documentary about Vincent Kennedy McMahon?
I agree with Marlee that there wasn't anything really new that was like unearthed. I mean, there might be some like, little snippets here and there, but this really wasn't for like the wrestling fan. It was for the more non. It was for the Netflix audience. I think the greatest strength of the documentary was also its greatest weakness, and that was the link to Vince, having all those interviews take place in 2021. And it's interesting because we never really see Vince in that light, but they kicked it off with like the first 5 minutes of Vince basically saying like, I'm not going to tell you anything of note and I'm not going to tell you any of the good stuff. So you kind of already have a wall put up before the thing even starts. Then obviously a lot of the interviews from the people around the business outside of Tony Alice, who I thought was like one of the MVPs of the documentary, all of them have links to WWE. And at that point in 2021, Vince was still in power. And so you're not going to get like their real thoughts and their real opinion on the matter. They're going to kind of shade it the way they want it to be shaded. I mean, even Jimmy Hart said, I don't know what they want out there, which was kind of a theme, I think, throughout. I wish this was like a truly independent documentary that came out right now where Vince is like done with the business. He's not going to come back to WWE. You can really get like the opinions of people. But overall, I thought it was good.
Yeah, decent doc. I mean, obviously stuff in there that doesn't hold like fact and whatnot. Obviously them talking about like Owen, I thought that was a very intriguing episode, and I don't think Vince has ever really kind of talked about it like that. Owen and the lawsuit and everything that went on with that, and yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Iron Claw where wrestling fans know the real story, but the story that's put out is dramatized to an extent for people who might not be familiar with the story.
Yeah, like the whole like them wrestling while Owen's blood was on the mat. I mean, I'll say it here. That wasn't Owen's blood. They did like a bloodbath with the Brood earlier in the night on Heat, and they weren't changing canvases like that back then. So that's what that blood was. Because if you look at the photo, like where was Owen bleeding from? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a decent documentary. Go watch it if you don't really know that much about Vince McMahon, and for us, the hardcores that know the a lot of the details. It's just a nice little watch along. Probably the most important thing I'll take away from this documentary, and Marlee, you can probably attest to this because you're training to be a worker. Don't change the formula.
No, absolutely. Never change the formula.
I mean,
Don't, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
come on now, hello. Yeah, so this was nice, nice little thing on Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, Raw on Netflix, the first one, January 6th, apparently. I think that's what they said. Is when the Raw on Netflix is gonna happen. It's gonna be in LA. What's up with y'all? What's up with a quick little Raw on Netflix? Y'all down?
I'm down.
Yeah, it'll be January 6th, the first one. Random.
Phillip.
What's up? Raw on Netflix, Los Angeles.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting show. I mean, we saw what they did with the CW and how they loaded up that show. I wonder if they're probably going to do the same thing with Raw.
Possibly.
Compared to all the other things they did on January 6th, this can't be that bad.
My cousin was born on January 6th. Man, is that a peaceful thing? January 6th is full of a lot of things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Huh? SummerSlam, MetLife Stadium, August 2nd and 3rd, 2025. The first ever 2-night SummerSlam is gonna happen in Newark, New Jersey. Yeah. MetLife Stadium is hell to get out of. We've heard the horror stories of WrestleMania 35. Not sure how bad it was for WrestleMania 29, but yeah, I mean Cardi B, I guess she should be performing or she's doing the theme song, one of the two. So biggest party of the summer is going to be on the East Coast next year. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it was only a matter of time till they stretch out these shows. I'm waiting for them to announce the Royal Rumble, but they announced it's going to be in February 1st. It's not going to be a 2-night Royal Rumble, so maybe the 2026 Royal Rumble will finally be 2 nights. But I mean, it's kind of what they do now. I mean, I don't like it just because it kind of makes you to watch more stuff that I feel like you can just jam it all in one show and make like a super show instead of having like, two.
It is a super show. It's just 2 nights.
I mean, I still was kind of on that island and not really liking the SummerSlam this year. And so now you make it two nights. I don't know about that.
Well, you'll have one night you liked more. Marlee, 2-night WrestleMania or 2-night SummerSlam. Sorry, what are your thoughts?
I was gonna say the 2 night formula really only works for WrestleMania because WrestleMania is big enough to where you can have enough matches that last 2 nights. SummerSlam, while it is like a big five pay-per-view, what really happens on SummerSlam that really needs to happen over the course of 2 nights?
Well, I think
Like,
we're gonna find out in the summer of 2025.
well,
I,
true, but yeah, no, WrestleMania is the only. I mean, it's good for SummerSlam. It shows like they're doing something different, but I just feel like the 2 night format really only works for WrestleMania.
and I feel like it works so much better with the Royal Rumble. Like I said, you have the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble to main event both nights. And when you do both of those matches on one show, it's very long because it's like almost
So
3 hours, damn near.
should they do that with the Money in the Bank too?
Well, that's not an hour match normally. Usually those matches are like 20 or 30 minutes, which is better, which is fine. But then when you do it for a Royal Rumble, it gets a little long. So I'm a little surprised they did it with SummerSlam before they did to the Royal Rumble. But
Maybe they're testing it, and if the SummerSlam goes well, then we'll see.
I mean, they're charging so much money for tickets. It probably will be a success, even if they fill it up to like 75%.
I mean, we shall see. Ilya Dragunov is going to be out to 6 to 9 months. Maybe he returns in the Royal Rumble next year. He was at a live event wrestling, I believe, the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And yeah, what's the injury? Is it ACL?
Yep, ACL tear. So 6 to 9 months, maybe before WrestleMania. Maybe he's the night after, Raw after Mania return. But I mean, this sucks. I mean, he's been super talented, and he's kind of been flirting in that upper mid card era. Not really doing too much, but you kind of see they have some faith in him, and then he gets injured on a non-televised show, so his momentum has been thwarted.
It has, but it's okay. It is okay. MJF apparently will be in Happy Gilmore too, guys. What are your teas? What are your teas?
I am probably in the small percentage of people who have not seen Happy Gilmore, but I'm glad that MJF is getting an acting role.
I don't know what he would be in because I know they're trying to like it's going to be like a full-blown sequel. So like a lot of the people from the first one are going to return unless MJF is like the new Shooter McGavin, which I think would be like a fun twist on it if he's like Shooter's son and he's like the asshole golfer trying to take down Happy or whatever they're trying to do in this new sequel. So because I haven't heard anything about what he's actually doing or like what the plot of the movie is. So I think Shooter McGavin Jr. or whatever his name would be perfect for Max.
I heard that he's playing somebody's son, but I don't remember who specifically.
Phillip, please tell me you've seen Happy Gilmore.
No, I have. It's been Jesus Christ. I can't remember how long. It's been a while. I've seen it though.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Give you
sorry.
a pass.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the fan mail. Let's get into the fan mail. It's 400th episode. Let's see what we got. Hootie Hoo 420.
Hootie ho.
Mates, 400 episodes is a fantastic accomplishment. Congratulations. Hope there are 400 more episodes of this bloody wonderful pod. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Dan, congratulations on 400 episodes. Will KO cost Roman and Cody against the Bloodline since Cody cost KO and Randy against the Bloodline on SmackDown? I don't know. Do they want to pull the trigger in Atlanta in Georgia? Marlee, do they want to pull the trigger in Georgia?
I think they should. It's the right stage for it. They've been teasing it for a minute. Why not?
Yeah, let's solo pin Cody, get his lick back. Brandon, what do you tease?
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, they played up the thing of, is it going to be Kevin? Is it going to be Randy who possibly turns on Cody? And you're not just going to have Cody and Roman just beat the Bloodline like that because obviously they're still going to there's still some more chapters to be written. There's more innings to be played, as Paul Heyman said at that infamous press conference. So I would not be shocked if there's some sort of schmaz or something happens in this match.
Majola. I do think the Bloodline, one way or another, do walk away with the victor over the American Nightmare and the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns. All right, Dan writes in, this is huge for you guys. 400 is awesome. I tried a podcast with my buddy. We did 4 episodes and never touched mics again. With Jay being the new IC champ, what are your top 3 matches that you want to see? 2 title defenses and then 1 to dethrone him. Okay, so 3 matches for Jey Uso. 2 of them are defenses. 1 person dethrones them. Obviously, you got to do like him and Dirty Dom. That's obvious. I haven't beat Dom. What you call it? Who else is there? I would say Ilya, but he's hurt now, huh? Ludwig Kaiser stepping up. Maybe Ludwig gets a shot and comes
I
close,
say do it.
but doesn't get the job done. And then, I mean, we can each have our own individuals, but like these are my 3: beats Dom, beats Ludwig, and then maybe Chad Gable beats Jey Uso and becomes the Intercontinental Champion. Maybe he finally gets it there. Those are my 3: beats Dom, beats Ludwig, and then he gets dethroned by Chad Gable. Brandon, what about you?
I'm not opposed to Xavier Woods beating Jey Uso next week. I mean, you put all that emotion behind Jay's win, and then Xavier just like pulls a rug out from under him, cheats to win. I'm not opposed to that. Drew McIntyre is like an interesting one, but I do wonder, like, do they want to quote unquote drop Drew down to the IC level when his whole goal, like pretty much his entire year, has been for the world title? And then like a second one, just like random, like a random heel. I don't know. Like you kind of already ran it out there. I mean, I guess Dominic, because I do really hope after this thing at Bad Blood, we kind of go their own separate ways with the Judgment Day. We did get some sort of Wyatt family thing, which was like saying "we see you," which I don't know if that's Xavier Woods, The Miz. I don't know exactly where they're going with that, so I don't know. Maybe because obviously Judgment Day is another faction warfare that they could do, but let the wait and see.
Marlee, what about you?
I don't have much to say on that one, actually.
Okay. Brandon. Guess who wrote in?
But Smith,
Yes.
my man, he's alive.
He saves it for the big ones. He says, "Boy." So Marlee, Copenhagen Smith is the guy that used to hit us up on Twitter. His profile picture was a can of Copenhagen chewing.
We've talked about him like 3 times last month. I think she remembers.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, no, then I do remember. Okay,
I love him. I love him. I love this guy. I mean, he's great. Copenhagen Smith says, "Boys, I haven't wrote in, but I've been listening somewhat. 400 is big, boys, and Marlee, love the addition to the show. I peeped the High Wrestling Podcast. Nice work. There you go. You guys, right? Come on now. You guys haven't given up, and I fucking love that. Keep trailing the machine. It never stops, and the show must always go on. Cheers to 400 more. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Love it. And then, of course, we have to end the fan mail portion with fan mail from our guy in Brightest Day X,
Mr. X,
Hall of Famer. Come on now.
X.
First off, congratulations on 400 episodes to the greatest pro wrestling podcast on the airwaves today. I appreciate that, bro. Love you. Thank you for all the work you've done, for real. If you had to show someone what the BC is all about, which episode of the last 399 would you have them listen to? Man. There've been a lot, man. What comes to mind is whatever episode it was where the guy was singing the Firefly Funhouse theme. That was one that happened. The revamp episode, when I changed the Bulletcast logo to splatter like the NXT 2.0 logo, that's always something. Yeah. There's quite a few of them. Brandon, we've had 399. What episode are you having somebody listen to?
I don't know exactly what the number was or what even we were talking about, but I do remember there was one time me and Mitchell, the other guy, got into a very heated discussion about something, and I forget exactly what it obviously was about, wrestling or some philosophy, because I think I'm more of like the sports guy and he's more of like the artistic guy, and we just got into some really big argument, and that was like one of the like most heated discussions we ever had on this podcast, I think.
Yeah, I do, but that's when we were in the TV studio, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm in the middle. They're each on the side of me. I'm just like, well, all right. Marlee, does any stick out to you since you've been here?
I'm gonna be biased and say one of like the first few episodes I was on. I don't think I was officially on the show yet, but it was one of those like pop-in ones. I think it's just nostalgic for me personally.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, we've had so many, man.
There's too many.
Too many to count. Any immediate future plans for the Bullet Cast, or do we all just need to hide and watch what happens next? We're just gonna keep the trail moving, man. We're gonna keep going. Try to see what else we can do. I think I've taken kind
Gunner
of
boy. There he is.
yeah. There's gonna be video, so you guys will be able to see it.
Legendary. Legend.
Oh, I didn't know you had a photo of him. That's crazy. Yeah, I never heard from him again after that.
I wonder why.
That's crazy.
Never, never. I remember like it took a while for us to start that one because he was hella nervous, and then he just started singing the song. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, no immediate plans right now. We just gotta. But like I said, I took kind of a step away from the interviews this year. I'd like to get back on that because there was one year where I was just putting out an episode, like an interview, like every week, just boom, 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 boom. So I think we gotta do that. And then he says, on to current events. What can we expect from Dynamite's 5-year anniversary and Bad Blood this Sunday? Oh, of course. When the bike club bit me. Yeah, that guy,
Good times.
he's one of the coaches at the school now. He doesn't have any hair anymore.
Well, it happens to the best of us, all right?
All right, come on now. I mean, look what happened to me. Come on now. Uh, yeah, Dynamite's 5-year anniversary. I mean, we saw a debut. We talked about it. Ricochet and Will Ospreay had their little flippy do. Yeah, yeah.
I haven't really seen anything about the 5-year anniversary outside of that whole Ricochet Osprey segment
Yeah.
in the beginning of their match.
Yeah. Bad Blood, I think we can expect storytelling. Impeccable storytelling at that, right? I think that's what we can expect.
Yeah, I guess so.
Storytelling, aka non-finishes, because that's what everyone told me at SummerSlam. Because it's just storytelling, brother.
What's going on with Bad Blood here? Hold on.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna tap into a little something special. I interviewed a member of the Samoan dynasty, Iosefa Parisi. Let's take a listen.
At if I'm correct, I believe it was Saugus High School in Santa Clarita.
Okay.
So it was one day of training. I think 1 or 2 days of helping set stuff up, and then I think the last day we went out and I got to watch the show live. So it was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Paying dues on day one as a trial.
There you go. There you go.
Fun story. Funny story. So I'm working security, right? I'm
Okay.
working security, ringside security and stuff. And Reno, Count Black Pearl comes out. He's working heel at the time. And these fans come up to him. And I don't know any better at the time. I'm green as goose shit. So I go up to like stop him. And he's looking at me. He's like, no, back up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm standing back, and Reno, like, he walks up, and he's up on the apron, and he looks at me, and this is how he hooked me. He looked at me, he goes, Ose, this could be you, Ose. This could be you. And yeah, about 1 year later, that was me.
There you go. All right, Uso, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You guys will be able to catch the rest of that whenever I drop the interview, so be on the lookout for that. Inside the ring, Jey Uso debuts a new Intercontinental Championship. It just has a little bit of blue in it, but it does wonders, does it not? Does it not?
It changes. It brings something
Come
to
on
the
now.
title because it was kind of boring for a minute.
Now, if they throw a white strap on it, I won't be opposed. I would not be opposed. I hope this isn't just for Jay. They need to just keep it like that. They really, really do.
Yeah, it's such a simple little addition, but it does make it look so much better. Because like the old title, even though I kind of like the actual design of it, it was lacking in like memorability. It was just like a title that it looked cool. Like I think I even said like it looked like a cool indie title, but not exactly like for a WWE title. It didn't look that great. So
Yeah,
just a little pop of the ocean makes all the difference.
absolutely. So Ruka, she showed up in TNA to answer Jordan Grace's open challenge for the Knockouts title. I mean, Brandon, you're the biggest Jordan Grace fan I know. How do you feel?
Also a pretty big So Ruka fan, respectful of course. But Yeah, once again, I keep saying like, oh, TNA is not getting a lot of names, but she's one of the bigger, like, upper mid card names for the women's division. So it's a pretty big get, I would say, for TNA. So intrigued to see what she does over there. If she does
Absolutely.
anything else.
NWA is going to be leaving the CW, because NXT showed up and they just kind of took over. I mean, they're going to be on the CW app, obviously, and you can watch it next day. And yeah, it's unfortunate for NWA, but they're going to be going back to YouTube, kind of what they were doing when they first started 605 Live. I believe it's going to go back like on a Tuesday when NWA Power, excuse me, when they first started up on Tuesday night 605 Live. I loved it. The presentation was great. So hopefully they can capture some of that magic again. But yeah, NXT on the CW, the debut. We got new championships, new men's title, the new women's title. This is the black and platinum era of NXT. Can we say? Shout out Sam Roberts. He came up with that term. Black and silver, maybe. I don't know.
Silver and black.
Silver and black. Come on now. What are your thoughts on NXT, the debut episode on the CW, and the new championships, Marlee?
Wasn't expecting all of these changes, but I mean, with the move to the CW, it makes sense. The belts look good. Wasn't expecting Roxanne to retain. I thought Julia was going to take the title off of her, but it sets up something for the future. But overall, I think it was a decent premiere for NXT. NXT is really doing numbers that I wasn't expecting them to, but that's on me because I don't watch NXT regularly outside of the pay-per-views. But it's becoming its own little brand outside of Raw and SmackDown, and I like what they're doing down there. Shawn Michaels is really getting them in shape.
He is cooking. What
Truly.
Weezy is doing the theme song?
Wheezy and Future. And then Megan got the SmackDown theme song. Cardi got the SummerSlam announcement, potentially hosting. Sexy Red is coming back to
look,
NXT. It's for
we
us, man. It's for us.
WWE apparently, look, we've had black champions. This might be the blackest WWE has ever been. This might be even black.
Hello.
I mean, but nothing beats, when Jagged Edge was on SmackDown singing for Teddy Long's wedding.
Hey, what Isaac Hayes now? Isaac Hayes.
When was Isaac?
Isaac Hayes was singing about his chocolate balls. One, I don't know if it was a WrestleMania or something. It was like a WrestleMania pre-party or something, but they had Isaac Hayes up there.
See, I mean, WWE has a long history with just giving back to the culture. I mean, come on now. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Maybe since WWE's for the culture, maybe AEW can satiate my desire for early 2000s kind of crappy dad metal. So I'm all for that. But yeah, the NXT brand on CW off to a hot start. They got like mid 800,000 viewers, so a big number for them. I wonder how much of it is just them popping a rating because it's the first episode. CM Punk was on there. They did a lot of hype to it, so we're gonna have to stay tuned and see what exactly like the average kind of levels out to on a weekly basis. But definitely a good first start for them. And shout out NWA leaving. I mean, it all went downhill once the Sinister Minister took a bump. And I ain't talking about in the ring, brother.
Okay. Shelton Benjamin's All Elite. Marlee, you drove him around once. How do you feel?
Yeah, I saw that today, and I was like, "Wow!" It was that I would take that as an example of one of those moments where it's like surreal. That was one of the few times I've really felt like something surreal in the wrestling business. Because like not too long ago, I picked him up from the airport. Now this man is on All Elite Wrestling on Dynamite.
It'd be like that. I mean, there's a guy I used to drive around, and now he's
Right, that guy
on big time
every week.
Every week. Doing this every week. I love you. My love. Brandon, what are your thoughts on Shelton Benjamin, the gold standard, being All Elite, taking Prince Nana's coffee? How dare he?
I mean, they teased it a little bit last week with the debut of MVP, so it definitely looks as though we're getting some sort of the Hurt Business on AEW. I don't know. Like I said last week, like MVP, I think as a character, as a manager, I think is good. Shelton Benjamin, it's just like another WWE guy that I don't think is going to add much to the in-ring stuff. Now, if he wants to be backstage and do all that stuff, perfectly fine. I have no issues with that, but just on television, I don't know what Shelton Benjamin can add to AEW in 2024.
I don't know, man. You leave the Hurt Syndicate alone. At least that's the rumored name for whatever's coming. I mean, hey man, if Shelton Benjamin don't do it for you, maybe the Almighty might. You know, the rumors are going rampant that he shows up. Yes, I don't know. We shall see. I mean, Swerve versus Lashley. I'm down for that. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds interesting to
That'd
me.
be something.
That
That
would
would
be
be something.
absolutely crazy. What what is this? What did you Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I know like Halloween's right around the corner, you know, it's spooky season. You know, people, you know, some people might want to be Ghostface with the new Scream 7 announcement and whatnot, but listen, get you a BBL Drizzy costume.
Sort
Right. Certified by Fashion Nova. Hello.
courtesy of Fashion Nova. Let's go.
Come on now. Get you walking down the street like BBL Drizzy. Come on now. Y'all might have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, before we preview Bad Blood, I have a special one for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you are going to be amazed. I was amazed that it even happened. Ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't be a 400th episode if we didn't have a special guest appearance. Brian Tronic is back on the Bullet Cast. The lone applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah.
He's back. You want to start singing the Eric Bischoff?
Yes.
I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Know the rest. Brian Tronic is back. What's going on, man?
Oh man, thank you for having me, Phillip. This is an honor. I'm back, baby. This feels good. It's been a while since I've been here doing this in front of the microphone.
Yes. Brian Tronic has
Good.
returned to the BC, episode 400. Told you we had some big stuff planned. Brian, so over the course of this recording, we're just going to kind of get your thoughts on like just the wrestling world since you've been away from podcasting. So let's talk about it first. What are your AEW thoughts? A lot's been going on. You know, Swerve had his little, or I'm not going to say little on one. No, I don't want people to come for me. But Swerve, you know, he had his run as champion. What have been your thoughts, man? You know, AEW over the course of this year, Swerve's run, etc.
Um, I feel like AEW has its ups and downs, right? Like like any wrestling company. I feel like they're in a period of time right now where they've got some stuff that works for them, but they're pushing a lot of stuff that just doesn't work. And I don't know, for me personally, like I can watch it. If I don't get too invested in it, it's cool. It's almost like watching a sporting event on mute, right? You don't get as mad when you hear that ball go through that net when your team's getting beat, right? Or when the crowd goes crazy after a home run or your favorite football team just got scored on. I feel like when I'm watching AEW, it's like, okay, if I don't take it too serious, it's cool. Because you already know what you're gonna get. You know you're gonna get your big moments, but you know you're gonna get these random matches from time to time. Every week, it's just random match here, random match there, and it's getting a little annoying. It's getting a little annoying.
I won't say a little. It's been annoying. Like you know, I mean, you know, like I made a, I don't want to say I made a career out of talking ish about AEW, but that moniker belongs to my boy Alfred. Shout out Pro Wrestling Bits. But yeah, man. I mean, like there are things AEW does that are really good, like the Swerve Hangman stuff. Absolutely, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Mhm.
Every incarnation of it, and then like I mean, there are people online that'll like praise every single thing AEW does, and I'm like, you can't. I mean, we just talked about that. Like, you
Mhm.
can't honestly think that everything they do is fantastic. And then there are
Right.
people that shit and crap on like everything AEW does, and I'm like, all right, well, hold on. Like, there are certain things there that work. Like Christian Cage, I've loved it. I've loved it this whole time,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see what happens with him and Daniel Bryan. And Christian's gonna bring up his dad. That's inevitable.
Mhm.
I kind of I kind of wish like Christian was doing this when Cody was still there,
Mm.
or was he there when Cody was there?
It was, I think.
Yeah, right.
It had to have been.
They kind of like overlapped. I mean,
Yep.
I think that would have been something
Mhm.
interesting. But yeah, like the Christian Cage character has worked, the patriarchy. How do you feel about Jack Perry being the scapegoat? And what were your thoughts on the whole CM Punk of it all, man? Like what I think the last time you were on the show, we recapped an episode of Collision. The
Yeah.
first episode. That was the last time you were here.
Mhm.
So, what were your thoughts on all of that, bro?
I mean, it's crazy. I thought the scapegoat character and the whole aura of it worked at the time. It was good, right? I felt like, oh wow, this is a great way to bring him back in because I know he was in New Japan and they were running that whole thing where he's ripped up the contract and everything, whatever, right? So I feel like the scapegoat character worked. I feel like it's kind of getting watered down now. I think him being like officially a part of the elite, um, it's kind of weird because I don't think he really fits that whole
Bro,
package.
the elite ran its course. I'm gonna just say it.
It has. It has.
Because they didn't like when did it really fall apart? What maybe after the first Stadium Stampede?
Yeah.
Because Cody
Yeah.
was doing his own. He was in his own little Cody verse, as the internet likes to call it. And Kenny, went on to do Kenny things, and
Yep.
yeah. But the whole scapegoat thing. I mean, like when he first came back to AEW, they kept like harping on the whole CM Punk confrontation and playing the footage. It did nothing for nobody. Like it just made CM Punk look right.
Mhm.
Like I remember he did the Ariel Helwani, then somebody put audio from that interview over the security footage. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is him narrating exactly what happened. Like it didn't do anything for anybody.
Mhm.
The scapegoat had potential. Like I like how I mean, I give him credit for actually making his own TNT championship, for actually creating that himself. I give him credit.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things where I'm like, okay, like you don't have to harp on it. Like we could have went away from it. Like with the whole Punk.
I feel like at this point using him to get heat in Chicago is kind of it's done. Like we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean AEW, they have like I said, things that do work, and then other things are just like okay, whatever. But I mean, like I felt like they needed like a brand split system. Honest to God, like
Mhm.
why is the TBS champion on like Rampage or whatever? Why is the TNT title on Dynamite? Like I feel like TBS champion on Dynamite, TNT could be on Rampage and Collision. Trios on Collision, tag teams on Dynamite. The women's world title can float. The men's world title can float. International title, keep it like a Dynamite Rampage thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a Dynamite thing, like certain things like that. And then like if you are in Ring of Honor and you have a championship, you cannot be on AEW television. Like really make it a hard brand split. Like when Samoa Joe was running around with the TV title, or even when Jericho was the Ring of Honor champion, I
Yeah.
think it would have made their product more valuable to just see them on Ring of Honor.
Right.
Like the certain little things like that. But I'm not booking on my right the show, so I can only do it on WWE 2K. Huh? Oh
You make all the
man.
matches you want.
Exactly. Continuity is what I like. I don't know. Everybody likes it all willy nilly.
Right.
Yeah, and then you can't just have guys like show up and expect us to know their history.
Mhm.
Like I don't know the fucking full history of a dude that wrestled in DDT for 10 years. I'm sorry. I watch a lot of wrestling, but I'm like, I'm for real, bro.
Right.
This is what people like criticize WWE for, all the constant replays. I know what the fuck was going on.
Mhm.
Like, something will
All the
happen.
replays and recaps.
They come back. This just happened. Oh, earlier in the night. At the beginning of the night, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like, you always remember. Like it's just certain things like that. But let's talk about WWE, man. A lot has happened. CM Punk has returned. Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion.
Yep.
The tribal chief was dethroned. He's a chief without a tribe. What have been your thoughts since or what are your thoughts building into WrestleMania 40 with the final boss, The Rock, and bloodying Cody? What were your thoughts on all that?
It's been some of the greatest stuff I've ever watched ever in my life, and I know it's gonna sound weird because of the way we just talked about AEW, but you can't deny how good especially the stuff going into WrestleMania with The Rock, the final boss, Cody, Roman, Seth. I mean, you can talk about Drew, you can talk about Punk. Everybody involved in that build up to WrestleMania played a huge part, and I feel like at both nights of WrestleMania they knocked it right out of the park. It felt good. I was so mad that I couldn't be there. I was here at home though, and I was enjoying it like just like a little kid again, right? Like just sitting back on the couch with some pizza, right?
Some pizza
Like,
rolls and a Coke, just chilling.
Locked in, just out of my seat at times, on the edge of it. It's been really fun. It's been really fun, and I feel like even after WrestleMania, they've been continuing to just thrive. And I know a lot of people, have an issue with the 5-match PLE concept, but I like it, man.
He brought the takeover style to the main roster.
Yeah, I like it.
And then, I feel like, the bigger shows you can do, like a SummerSlam, we can have 7 matches,
Yeah.
Bad Blood has like 6 or 7.
I think Bad Blood, yeah, it might have, yeah.
Yeah, they have the Bloodline tag match. They have, Punk and McIntyre. What else? What else do they have? They have Rhea and Liv.
Rhea and Liv, Balor and Priest. Who else they got?
I feel like I'm missing something.
I feel like that's it. No, they got one more. I think they've got one more.
There's something else going on.
Yeah. But I like that. I like with the 5-match method. I like that. And then people are like not really understanding this, but Raw and SmackDown shows, they have a little bit more meaning now. They're a little bit more must see when it comes to, oh wow, we're getting a World Heavyweight Championship match. We're getting a women's world title match. We're getting
we got an IC title change.
Exactly. An IC title change that came out of nowhere. A lot of, I guarantee you, 90% of people did not expect Jey Uso to win the Intercontinental Championship.
Bro, I mean, like there was some obviously doubt, but like I went to the SmackDown and SAC, I had to go see Big Goose. Shout out Jacob, Malualaba Uso, Malualaba. But Jay wrestled Drew McIntyre in the dark match, and like damn, this motherfucker over like Rover. Like it, if he wins, in a couple days, the right move. But yeah, with Jay, I didn't want him to get into the Bray Wyatt territory. Now, obviously, we love Bray Wyatt and everything he did, such a creative mind and being. But he got to a point where he was in a feud. You kind of didn't care because you knew he was going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Jay to get to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want him to just be like a word and moving his hands up and down and some glasses. But no, he got to that, which was great. What are your thoughts on the Punk and McIntyre of it all? I mean, this story has been, they've been going theoretically since Punk came back. Well, actually, yeah. What were your thoughts on Punk coming back, first of all, and then what are your thoughts on the Punk Drew storyline?
He came home.
All right, come on now.
Punk came home.
Hello.
I mean, the reaction, the response that he got in Chicago at Survivor Series was just, even I'm on the edge of my seat, and when they're zooming at that camera, right, Michael Cole's taking us home, I'm like, no way. The music hits, I'm like almost in tears. I'm like, I can't believe it. And just with everything that had went on with CM Punk and his name and getting fired, like everything, just from debuting in AEW to getting fired from AEW, coming back to WWE in Chicago to that ovation under those circumstances. Now you got all these rumors and all these things happening behind the scenes. Oh, Seth Rollins is mad. Drew McIntyre walked out. How's he going to be? Oh, he's going to be fired and give him a couple of months or a couple of weeks. And here we are almost a year later. And I feel like it's unfortunate that he got injured because I would have loved to see him wrestle for the world title against Seth at WrestleMania. But it's almost a blessing in disguise because Seth was also hurt. And I feel like maybe it wouldn't have been the greatest match between those two. Like maybe they would have wanted because Seth wasn't 100% and, Punk only having a handful of matches up to that point. But blessing in disguise, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk just completely fell into the laps of the writers on the creative team at WWE because I feel like they've been killing it. It got a little. I know a lot of people say it got a little dry in the middle, leading up to where's their last match? SummerSlam.
The strap match.
Oh, yeah, where was the strap match?
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, what else can they say to each other? Right? Just let them fight. Just let them fight." But look, man, they haven't done a lot of fighting, and I know that they're saving it for Bad Blood, and I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, man.
Drew McIntyre's been doing some great things, man.
I mean, so this social media game. When he took that photo with Jack Perry, I'm like, oh, this guy. Like, oh, this is the new kayfabe.
I'm like, oh, he's pressing buttons, man.
He is. He's pressing all the buttons, man. I mean, telling Punk I prayed for this to happen and all that. I think he just like posted like a video of like somebody kicking a dog when in response to Larry. I'm like, this guy really, he really going for it. Oh, but no, I mean I need this version of Drew McIntyre to be the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, man.
This was great. In the midst of a lot of things that have gone on in WWE this year, John Cena has announced that next year he will be retiring. He will be doing 30 to 40 dates. I beg the question, who should retire John Cena?
Oh, that's tough.
Everybody says Orton.
Orton seems more believable. Man. Yeah. You know what? I'll say this because I'm confused on what happened. I know that if you ask Kurt Angle, he'll say that, he asked to have that match with Baron Corbin. As long as it's not something crazy like.
No, they wanted to finish that story. That's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not something crazy like that, like we're getting like a retirement match with someone who just completely doesn't make sense. Which then again, I think, okay, there's no way that John Cena would go for. There's no way they would. No way. They respect John Cena.
What about Dirty Dom?
Do him like that.
What if Dirty Dom retired John Cena?
What if Austin Theory retired John Cena?
He beat him, and what happened with it? I mean, Solo beat him and became the Tribal Chief.
Solo beat him.
Solo
Tribal Chief.
Yeah, Solo took the energy of beating John Cena and became the Tribal Chief.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of mad that not a lot of people. I'm kind of mad that nobody sees it that way. That's actually a good way to look at it.
I'm not somebody that believes in like energies and like crystals and things like that. But like, I believe in energy in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that so much. Like, I've always said, like, whoever beat Roman Reigns would get the ultimate 10-year rub. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brock Lesnar ended the streak. Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar clean in SummerSlam 2018? Yeah. It took him like 2 years, but he used that energy of beating Brock to become the Tribal Chief character that we got to know and ultimately love. And then Cody took that energy when he beat Roman Reigns, and probably is more over now than when he was going in to the match. Yeah,
he's living the dream, man.
The American.
The American.
Come on now, hello. Come on now.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, whoever retires Cena, like they'll get that they can run with that for a nice little bit. Roman Reigns is back, and he appears to be a good guy, but nothing's changed. I love it. It's still the same, demeanor. It's still the same, tone. And what did you think of the cinematic excellence that we saw at Georgia Tech?
Beautiful.
I've
probably watched it like 5 times.
It was great. I'm like, this yes. Let's feel
And
like
it's
we're watching a movie.
and I feel like what it does is it continues telling that their story, right? Like, because after WrestleMania, him going away for the time that he did, it's just kind of like, okay, like if you didn't watch the build up to WrestleMania, and I'm talking the build up, we're going from 2 years back, right? If you didn't watch all that up until WrestleMania when Cody won, and you just kind of just didn't really pay much attention to it, and then you see that, it kind of gives you a recap of what's gone on and what's going on now at this point. And one thing I like about the standoff is not only is Roman staying true to who he is, right, and sticking with what he is. Cody also is like, he's pulling that belt on his shoulder. He's like, look, what does he always say? He says, I'm not flinching. Right? You can see it, and it's that realism. Like when I'm watching, it doesn't feel like I feel Cody. Like it's like, whoa, like he's really not going to let this go. Like he knows he's the man. He feels he's the man. He told Roman, he's like, look, it's not your WWE anymore, right? He's putting the foot down. He's like, look, I got the title.
Yeah.
The icing on the cake, though, in that standoff, that cinema, was when Roman told him, "You're in my way in life."
I kind of wish Roman would have just said like, "You're in my way," and then walked off and kind of left us to interpret. Well, what does that what does that mean? Like the title, the so and so. But well, yeah, I mean, in my way in life, like you took necessarily my livelihood, because when you're the champ, you make more money.
Mm-hmm.
You took even more food off the plate of my table that I sit at the head of. Or I don't know where Roman's seat is now. Solo has the Ulafala, so a lot's been going down. A lot's been going down. But yeah, like Cody, he has more attitude when he's out there with Roman.
Yep.
And like there's a lot to be left with wonder about WrestleMania 41. People are saying Rock and Cody are gonna do it because Rock left and he'll be back or whatever. But we could possibly see Roman Cody 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. That's what it just that energy that it felt like. It's like, oh wow, okay, this is they're gonna take care of business in Atlanta at Bad Blood, and maybe we'll start to see them come together, and I don't know, man. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, they should do it on TV. Since the last two were at WrestleMania, let's do this one on TV.
Saturday night's main event.
Oh,
you need something. I mean, you need something big. You need something big.
Good idea.
Saudi's coming up.
That's a good idea.
I mean, if you think about like all the big moments in the '80s, like Savage turning heel on Hogan and the whole stuff with Elizabeth and the two like referees, all that happened on Saturday night's main event.
Wow, that's a good idea.
On prime time. In the Nassau Coliseum.
Wow. It's a good idea.
Almost wish it was in the Garden.
Oh, yeah.
Almost wish it was in the Garden. And Roman could be like, he could say something dirty. Your daddy didn't walk out of the stadium with this title, you won't either. Something like that. Oh, man. Let me stop. That's talking now. Hello.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. The Vince doc happened. What are your thoughts?
Oh, man. All right.
Oh.
I thought it was entertaining.
Vince is wild. Even if something did happen, the statute of limitations. Hey, Vince, don't say shit like that.
There was some stuff he said where I had to mute it and go, what?
Look, I would never say that.
A lot of people who reviewed it and online, they were like saying like, oh, it's just nothing. It's not. I thought that there was some really good stuff. and even some stuff that after knowing who Vince McMahon is all these years that I learned, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Or it just felt different because we hear a lot of these stories from different people, from different people's perspectives, and you never really hear Vince talk about the shit that he was talking about. So I was entertained, I was surprised. And it got dark at times, and it got sad, like with the Shane McMahon stuff. That was very sad, very deep.
Yeah, they did they obviously they had a part about Owen and whatnot, and
Owen stuff was crazy.
yeah, I wanna just put this out there. The blood on the ring was, I don't believe that was Owen Hart's. There was a brewed bloodbath earlier in the night on Heat.
Oh,
Yeah, so and plus, like, if you you've seen the photo. Like, where was he bleeding from?
right. And his head or anything wasn't like on that part of the. Wow, you cracked the code.
Yeah, that's
I think you're right. That's crazy.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, and they didn't that back then. They didn't switch out the mats and stuff like that.
yeah, no,
So for that's crazy. Wow,
yeah,
that's great. But yeah, even like the Owen stuff. I don't think I've ever heard Vince McMahon talk about the Owen stuff
yeah.
like that. Right? Like, I mean, obviously, when he's been asked on that one show, that one guy I don't know why Vince kept going back to that one guy who kept like making him mad and asking him questions and shit.
Ratings. Controversy creates cash, man.
seeing him sit with that one guy, and the guy was talking to him, and Vince got on the edge of his seat, and he like knocked his papers, and he was like, yeah, what are you doing? I was like, yo, Vince McMahon is a crazy man.
He's a showman, man. Like, it is what it is,
Oh man, even his takes on like WCW and that whole situation, and Eric Bischoff, and I didn't realize how little he thought of Bischoff throughout that whole situation, and how he almost didn't even acknowledge him. It was just Ted Turner, Ted Turner, Ted Turner, Ted Turner.
Yeah, well, it didn't matter for Bischoff because Vince won.
True.
At the end of the day, Vince won. But yeah, man, we've covered a lot. We've talked about all Elite Wrestling, or WWE, the things that are going on there. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the world of sports entertainment?
I want to give a shout out to Liv Morgan.
Shout out Liv Morgan, yes.
She's been doing her thing. Dirty Dom been doing his thing. I think that pairing is perfect. I know a lot of people have an issue with the Women's World Championship not having a challenger, not being the center. Outside of Rhea Ripley, it's just Judgment Day and Rhea and all that situation. But like, they're cooking up some potential challengers
right,
in the meantime.
I mean, it's been great. Dominic Mysterio is the only guy to turn heel while being a heel. Like, it's crazy.
Even more heel. He's gonna be in that shark cage.
Oh
this
yeah.
Weekend.
They somehow made that little that meme that's been going around. You know what I'm talking about.
And shout out. I want to give a shout out to Kevin Owens and Randy Orton for staying just relevant and doing their thing, and Randy Orton and look, man, I know it's gonna happen one way or another sooner or later. Randy Orton, Cody, Kevin Owens is in the mix. I don't know if Kevin Owens is gonna turn, but what I'm seeing from them, I'm liking it and I'm enjoying it. Also, Andrade and Carmelo Hayes is killing it.
They've been having some great matches. Shout out to the WWE Speed Champion Andrade El Idolo.
I like WWE Speed.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing the thing, man. Surprised Main Event never got a title. Yeah, maybe they'll make a Saturday Night's Main Event Championship and it'll be defended once every, like 4 times a year. regardless of what's on the show, the Saturday Night's Main Event title is the main event.
Right.
God damn it! What do you think of the Wyatt Six?
I love the Wyatt Six. Oh man, I love the Y6. I love their debut match. I love the presentation. I love that they're wrestling, right? Like they're actually getting in there and they're wrestling, and it's not like all just crazy spooky stuff every time that they're out there. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. The QR codes are back again, and
Yes.
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, Chad Gable, his turn. I love American Made.
Love it.
I'm down to, I was an amateur wrestler. I'm like, can I go be a part of American Made? I'll leave the Mafia in a heartbeat. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh,
American Melanin Made. Huh?
Melanin Made. That's all right. Oh, oh, man. Is there anything else you want to speak on?
I just want to say, congratulations to you, my brother,
Oh,
and the Bullet Cast.
I ain't doing shit.
400 episodes. This is a huge accomplishment, a huge achievement.
Yeah, man. I
You're
think
doing
like
it, man.
I think like Sam Roberts is the only other wrestling podcaster to consistently go this long. I mean, he's on like 5 something, but like,
Wow.
yeah, man, 7.5 years, a lot of interviews. A couple of them that will be spliced in this episode.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has gone on. You were here for and a lot of them. You went on a couple trips. You were there when I interviewed Big Keish. Shout out, Uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you for being a part of the journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. I
Brian
appreciate
Tronic
it.
era was one of my favorite eras of the show.
Yes.
I'd sit there and say my wild takes, and you just sit there laughing. Oh man.
Yes.
When's Within the Ropes coming back?
Listen, so I had an idea, right?
Oh.
I had an idea.
A light bulb went off.
Yes, I had an idea. I was like, listen, Within the Ropes is probably never going to come back.
Okay, all right.
But I got some ideas. Maybe, hopefully, iron them all out, all the details towards the end of the year. And maybe we'll have something shaking and rolling top of the year, 2025.
All right, Brian Tronic's going to be doing something in 2025. We don't know what.
Yeah.
I think this is going to wrap up this portion of the show. We're going to move on to our next topic. But Brian Tronic, let the people know where they can find you before you get out of here.
You guys can find me at Brian Tronic on all the social media platforms. That is BrianTronic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Tronic. All right, Brian Tronic was back on the Bullet Cast, episode 400. Told you it was big. Told you it was massive. Brandon, what are your thoughts on BT? The other BT.
I mean, everyone look outside your window right now because there might be pigs flying.
Pigs are flying. Hell froze over yet again. It was great, man. I mean, that was about, like a 25-minute, 35-minute conversation. It was fantastic. Loved every minute of it.
And Brian talked for about 23 minutes of that?
Of course. It was great, man. We got his thoughts on, AEW right now and, WWE since WrestleMania and Roman coming back and everything in between. Yeah, I mentioned what I said. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. I mentioned when I said it, the Brian Tronic era is probably my favorite era of the podcast. To answer the person's question, or Inbred X, I believe is your question, go back and listen to any of the Brian Tronic episodes. Just, Brian with his takes. They were always very good and very well thought out. But it was just fun. It was just a lot of laughter. Brian, thank you for coming back for this special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some bad blood. That was my, bad news impersonation, but with the, if you know, you know.
And now we got bad blood. Don't come after me, Taylor. I'm sorry.
I think I used that on one of the posts. I did it for the Taylor heads. I gave them one, but I'm not out here listening.
Swifties.
Yeah, I'm not out here listening to that. I don't trust black people to listen to Taylor Swift.
Hello.
Oh, Marlee, I love it. Let's talk about bad blood. The WWE Women's title will be on the line. Nia Jax defends against Bayley. Um, I hate that they changed Talking Smack to the SmackDown Lowdown. That irritates me a great deal. I'm just looking at the clip and just Naya, we not done yet, you know?
Yeah, it's too short of a reign.
I need Naya to hold this thing to WrestleMania. You beat the big bad giant at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some sort of shenanigans with Tiffy. They're definitely putting out there that Tiffy's either gonna try to cash in or she's gonna mess up and she's turn a baby face because Nia Jax doesn't like her anymore. So I think we're gonna get something like that, but I do believe Nia Jax is gonna win.
All right. Damian Priest versus one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor. I got Balor winning this, man. I mean, he hasn't really won like a singles feud in a little bit, or he doesn't have to win the feud, but like just get one, just get one, a singles victory. We need that on a pay per view. We need that the most. So I got the former Prince Devitt, Finn Balor. And Brandon, what about you?
I mean, I almost kind of see this as like a WrestleMania type event. Just like, let's just end a lot of the storylines here. Let's just cut it off. And I think this is one of them. Like I said, Judgment Day should be done with Rhea and Priest. And I think Priest should get the win, move on up, and whatever's next from maybe it's Drew McIntyre. I don't know what's next from, but I think whatever Judgment Day's doing now needs to be done with.
Marlon.
Yeah, I have to agree with Brandon. If the Rhea, Liv, and Damian Finn stuff doesn't end at Bad Blood, then it's kind of dragged out a little too far. But also, like Phil said, Finn hasn't really had a W in a feud in a minute. So nice to see Finn Balor do something since winning the tag team titles.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Dominic Mysterio will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage for this one, a little reminiscent of when there was a ladder match for his custody. His former mommy, Rhea Ripley, and his new girl, his bae, his out in the open link, Liv Morgan, will battle for not him, but the Women's World Championship. Is Rhea Ripley going to walk out the Women's Champion again?
I think so. I
I
think
don't
Rhea
think so.
wins. There might be some shenanigans with like Dominic and a key, but like this whole storyline, this whole thing has like taken the women's division hostage, at least the women's title division. And I think it's time for this to be over with and we move
What do you
on and
mean?
do
No, it
something.
hasn't. Other people have had their shot.
Like who? Zelina Vega had that like a one-off match on Raw.
I watched Lyra Valkyria wrestle her for the title at a dark match at the SmackDown.
Oh, sorry. That's on me. Hand up. Hand up accountability.
I mean,
Okay, let's rephrase this. Televised and non-televised defenses.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Let's rephrase that.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see mommy taking it home. I would love for Liv to kind of prove something to keep it, but hey, no, we'll see.
Yeah, I think Liv might still find a way to retain, even with Dominic suspended above the shark cage.
What about you, Brandon? Who'd you say? You said mommy?
Yeah, I think you got to have Rhea win here because you don't want to drag this out too far. Rhea is still one of their top difference makers in that company. And I think you just kind of got to get her out of there because if like she loses, then she's got to get her heat back and do all that stuff. Just have her win and let's just get on with this. Let's move on.
Right. All right, it is a tag team match. It is a blockbuster tag team match. The WWE champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, teams with his adversary, the tribal chief Roman Reigns, the only tribal chief Roman Reigns, versus the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu and a man that claims to be the tribal chief because he has the Ulafala, Solo Sikoa. I think Bloodline beat Rhodes and Reigns.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, you got to string this along, have Cody and Roman lose probably. I don't know. Do you have Roman lose his like first match back? I don't know, but I do think we're gonna get something to where there's some sort of shenanigans, a reason why Cody and Roman lose, and we have a reason to do that Bloodline Survivor Series match.
All right, Marley.
Have the Bloodline win at Bad Blood, and then because I believe Survivor Series is the next pay-per-view, because that's where you would have Roman and Cody.
No, I think there's like a Blood Money before that.
Oh, crap. Well,
That seems
definitely.
You know what? Do Roman and Cody. It's Saturday night's main event.
Exactly. Yeah. No, Roman and Cody, they don't need to win at Bad Blood. We can give this to the Bloodline, then we can continue Roman and Cody together or separate later down the line, whether it's Crown Jewel, Survivor Series.
Yeah, Brandon, when is Survivor
Crown
Series?
Jewel is November 2nd, and then
When
we
is
have
Survivor
Survivor
Series?
Series the 30th of November. So
And then the 14th of December is Saturday night's main event. So it's what, a 2.5 week build. Whatever happens with the War Games, then Roman can go to Cody and be like, all right, it's time, and we can do it at Saturday night's main event. I do like that. I like that a lot. We need something big on that show. And lastly, it is a match that has been months and months in the making. CM Punk, the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless, battles the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre, in hell, in a cell.
are you allowed to do that anymore?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I think we're going to get the Bloodline main event, the show, and they're going to do some sort of like, oh, we can't keep these guys apart, so we're going to have them open the show. Even though I kind of feel like this should be the main event because they've been so open about how there's going to be blood, basically. And it should be a really good match. And I think it could go either way. But I think you just have CM Punk win. But I am tempted to have Drew win here. To maybe even like personally and like backstage wise test Punk. To say like, all right, we're gonna have Drew win this feud and see how he reacts to it.
I feel like he's been all right.
It could go either way, but I'm actually hoping Drew gets the win on this one. I feel like he might need this win.
Yeah. I mean, they say you don't have to go over to get over. Drew's lost a lot this year, and he's seems bigger for it. So I don't know. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close out the show, here's a snippet of the interview I did months ago with the Godfather.
So you mentioned you have a club out in Vegas, Cheetahs. WrestleMania is coming to Las Vegas next year. What's probably the most underrated thing that tourists should do in Vegas?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. There's just so much to do in Vegas. It depends what you like. Like me, I'm into hiking, man, and there's a lot of cool, besides the gambling and the partying, there's hiking. There's a lot. I really like hiking. A lot of good hiking spots. There's actually a ski lodge there.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that there's Lee Canyon is a ski lodge about 40 minutes out of Vegas.
Okay.
And there's snow there right now because it's up about 14,000 feet.
Okay.
Personally, I've done so much. These days, I just stay at home and chill when I'm on the road on the weekends, and during the week, I'm just at home chilling.
All right, thank you to the OG. Hey, you know what he said? Pimping ain't easy. Hello. But yeah, that'll be up also. It's a couple interviews are going to be dropping. Got to try to get back on that train to ride out 2024. Thank you guys very much. This has been a massive episode. 400, like I said, man. When I started this all those years ago, didn't think we'd hit episode 10, and let alone 400. Very, very honored and blessed. God is good, God is great, and He helped us get to this milestone moment. Thank you very much. Marlee, anything you want to say before we really close this out?
All I can really say is thank you for bringing that podcasting bug back out of me, because I had to stop doing the high wrestling podcast because life happened, and it's nice to be back in the podcast swing of things. So I appreciate you guys for letting me have a spot on the show weekly.
Come on now, that's real mafia business. Come on now, hello.
Real mafia business out here. Let's go. Let's go.
Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, shout out everyone, whether you've been here since episode 1 or you just joined us for this one. I mean, it's been over 7.5 years, so we're almost coming up on that 8-year anniversary. I mean, shout out all y'all. Love you. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Thank you.
I love the good stuff.
All that good stuff. All that good stuff indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Collectible Stampede is this weekend, October 6th, Woodland High School Gym, Woodland, California. 21 Northwest Street. Please pull up. The Bulletcast title is on the line. Alpha Zoe is going to celebrate 2 years as champion. He defends against Surza and the Daredevil Dante Daring. Can the Blue Flame retain, or will the former revolutionary Surza walk out the champ? or will Dante Daring finally get his hands on the Bullet Cast Championship? Find out this Sunday. Thank you guys very much. We will see you for episode 401. Be safe and stay dangerous.
The feeling of time and when we on it. You know we got no time for no opponent, just the feeling. This is the time of the greats on everything that we